Polish-Ukrainian dispute over Volhynia Massacre explained. Warning: this video contains disturbing images and descriptions. No civilized state today glorifies those who committed genocide. In Germany, there are no streets or military units named after Hitler or SS. In Croatia, there is no glorification of the Ustashas. In Lithuania, of those Solis who had joined the Ypatingasis Būris units and committed genocide in the Ponary forest. Nor in Poland of those who were involved in such crimes as Jedwabne or Sarin. The European Parliament said it directly in its resolution of 12 March 2026 on the EU enlargement strategy. There is no place in the European Union or in countries aspiring to become EU member states for inflammatory rhetoric, genocide denial, or the glorification of war criminals from any side. Poland provides unprecedented and unwavering support to Ukraine in their war effort, while seeking reconciliation through the Ukrainian state, recognizing the Volhynia massacres as genocide, allowing Poland to exhume mass graves in order to organize dignified burials, and through ending the glorification of those responsible for the genocide. Unfortunately, in recent years, we have seen the Ukrainian side block this process and support ultranationalist sentiments in Ukraine. There has been an alarming rise in the cult of the UPA, its military and ideological leaders such as Bandera, Melnik and Shushkevich, and the Ukrainian military units within the Nazi armed forces of World War II, including the Nachtingol Battalion and the 14th Waffen-SS Galician Division. In the last 5 years alone, Ukraine has named over 500 streets after Bandera and the UPA heroes, named the city stadium in Tarnopol after Shushkevich, named the streets near the stadium after Bandera and Waffen-SS Galician Division, erected tens of monuments of such nationalists as Bandera, Shushkevich and others, named a Ukrainian military unit after the World War II Nazi Air Force, Luftwaffe, created hundreds of military and civilian places of cult, glorifying the Nazis responsible for the ethnic cleansings during World War II. President Zelensky's naming of an elite military unit after the UPA was the straw that broke the camel's back, to which the Polish President Nawrocki finally had to react. Unfortunately, instead of dialogue, President Zelensky chose further escalation. But what was the UPA, the Volhynian Massacre, and why are the Poles so sensitive about it? The Volhynia Massacre was a premeditated ethnic cleansing, primarily of the Poles, but also of the Jews, Czechs, and other minorities inhabiting that region. It was perpetrated by the UPA, Ukrainian Insurgent Army, which was an ultra-nationalistic paramilitary organization collaborating with Nazi Germans, SS, Abwehrer, and striving to establish an ethnically pure Ukrainian state after World War II. On 22 June 1941, Nazi Germany launches Operation Barbarossa, invading their hitherto ally USSR and quickly capturing what is now Ukraine. In the early morning of 30th of June 1941, the Ukrainian Nachtigall Battalion, serving in the German army, is the first to enter Lviv, and is followed by the German army to take control of the entire city. Later that day, nationalists from Stepan Bandera's OUN, Organization of Ukrainian Nationalists, gained support of Andrei Sheptytsky, Greek Catholic Metropolitan Bishop of Lviv, and announced the Act of Proclamation of the Ukrainian State under the protectorate of Nazi Germany. The Proclamation Act of Ukraine reads, "The restored Ukrainian state will cooperate closely with National Socialist Greater Germany, which, under the leadership of Adolf Hitler, is creating a new order in Europe and the world. The next day, joint Ukrainian-German marches inundate the streets of Lviv, with people flying swastika flags and hailing "Long live Hitler" and Bandera. Pogroms and mass killings of other ethnic groups follow. Ukraine nationalists, in collaboration with Nazi Germans, murder over 5,000 people, mainly Jews, in just a couple of days. Although Hitler revokes the self-proclaimed Ukrainian state in the middle of July 1941, Ukrainian nationalists continue to collaborate with Nazis and repeat the massacre when Germans take Kiev in September 1941, murdering in just 2 days over 30,000 people, mainly Jews, in Babi Yar near Kiev, and 100,000 until the end of the war. In October 1942, Ukrainian nationalists from Bandera's OUN formed their guerrilla army, UPA, Ukrainian Insurgent Army, which implements Mikhailo Kolodzinskai's military doctrine of Ukrainian nationalists. The doctrine details what needs to be done by the Ukrainian armed forces to build an independent and ethnically pure Ukrainian state. The doctrine reads, "There's need for blood. Let's give it a sea of blood. There's need for terror. Let's introduce hellish terror. The uprising will be an opportunity to literally wipe out the Polish element from the Western Ukrainian lands to the last man." In February 1943, Bandera gives the green light to the UPA to launch a full-scale extermination of the Polish population of Volhynia and eastern Galicia, pre-war Polish territories. During his pre-war trial for terrorism, he said, "Our idea, as we understand it, is so great that not hundreds, but millions of victims must be sacrificed in order to achieve it." As for the Polish question, it's not a military issue, but a minority one. We'll solve it just like Hitler solved the Jewish question, are the words attributed to Dmytro Kliaczkiewski, commander of the UPA North, uttered when giving orders to launch the genocide in February 1943. The death of one Pole is a meter of free Ukraine. It is necessary to accelerate the liquidation of Poles. They must be completely exterminated, their villages burned, says in 1944 Roman Shukiewicz, commander-in-chief of the UPA. Between 1943 and 1944, the UPA, supported by local Ukrainian population, brutally murders over 100,000 Polish civilians, mainly women, the elderly, and children, by axing, pitchforking, dismembering, disemboweling, burning alive, impaling, and driving nails into children's heads, to name but a few abominable ways of killing. Other ethnic groups are also affected, including Jews, Czechs, and those Ukrainians who help the victims or refuse to take part in the slaughter. The photos taken in 1992 during the exhumation of mass graves in Ostrovki and Wola Ostrowiecka, where on 29th to 30th August 1943, the UPA murdered 1,066 Poles, including 466 children under 14, speak for themselves. The Home Army, Polish World War II Underground Army, tried to prevent the ongoing slaughter by helping organize civilian self-defense, deterring attacks with retaliatory and preventive strikes on areas with UPA or OUN activity, such as Sarin in 1944 and Pollakoma in 1945, and through diplomacy. "I forbid the use of methods used by Ukrainian butchers," reads the order of the commander of the Home Army Volhynia district, Colonel Kazimierz Bombinski. Zygmunt Rummel, officer of the Home Army, poet, fluent in Polish and Ukrainian, author of the poem Two Mothers, about his two homelands, Poland and Ukraine. The Polish underground government sends him as an envoy to hold talks with the UPA command in Volhynia, hoping to stop the massacre and join the Polish and Ukrainian forces against Germans. Instead of talks, he is brutally murdered, torn apart by horses. The next day, on the 11th of July 1943, the UPA proceeds with the slaughter, murdering around 8,000 people on a single day, the day called today Bloody Sunday. You can start exploring the topic by watching Wojciech Smarzowski's film Volyn from 2016. Its English title is Hatred, or Volhynia. There is also a new documentary series available on Amazon Prime called Sąsiedzi, Neighbors. You can also find it with English subtitles on the film director's YouTube channel, Jacek Miedlar.